So you are too distracted, probably, I'm assuming. And the best way I could put it is anything in your life that you are constantly doing where your mind is occupied, you know, talking to friends, watching shows, scrolling on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, that's fine, you're spending your time how you want, and there's nothing wrong with that. But strictly in a sense of never being bored, I guess, is not a good thing. I've seen a lot online, like, you need to be bored, or boredom is good in a way. And I never really understood what that meant until I kind of look back on a specific situation in my life. Like, I want to say, man, this cough is getting bad. I want to say, like, a year ago, or like just last year, pretty much. And I went through a lot of growth in general, just myself. Last year was it was a really great year, but just a really confusing and weird year as well for me. But I went through a lot of growth, and a lot of that was because I was just to myself a lot of the time, meaning, like, I would be bored, if that makes sense. I don't really want to go into specifics with the situation, because it's kind of more of a personal thing, whatever. But it's relative to it directly, and it's just, I guess the best way I could put it is, I would, be working, whatever, I'd get off, and I didn't have my own place like I do now. I didn't have my own car like I do now. I would just go home and to my parents' house. And I didn't have my own room back then. I kind of stayed in like a little, I did have my own room, but it was like, not like this, pretty much. So I would just get home, and I would go to my room. Okay, so I would kind of just get to my room, and I would lie on my bed and just think about the day at work, about whatever happened. Because back then, I feel like I was very in a bad state of, like, overthinking every day and worried about, whether it be school, relationships, friends, whatever. Like, I was just very overthinking about everything. It was really weird looking back. I don't know why I was like that, but I would get home, and I wouldn't really go on my phone or watch TV or anything. I would just lie on my bed and I would try to fall asleep and take a nap, but I would find myself just thinking. I'd like my eyes open or eyes closed, whatever, and just lie there and just kind of think, like, about the day. And, for example, some things, maybe they, like, went weirdly at work, or in whatever situation I'm talking about. If I didn't understand the situation, or I didn't understand why something went the way it did, and I was confused, or I was like, why did that happen? Or why did I do something wrong? I was lying there and thinking about the events that unfolded. I eventually, like, it made sense. It might not have been that same hour, that same day. Maybe I took a nap, woke up, or maybe even the next day. But some instances I was just lying there thinking about everything, and it kind of clicked, like, just snapped. Like, I was thinking about it, why this happened, why did this happen, and it made sense to me. It was like, just pretty much instantly. It was really weird. And I guess what I mean is, if you don't allow your mind, yourself, to kind of relax and to think and step back and constantly distract yourself, just like watching YouTube, watching shows, just doing anything, listening to music, your mind will never kind of reach a point where it figures things out, Obviously it will. Like, I'm not saying you're, like, killing yourself by doing that. Obviously not. You need to enjoy. I'm not saying don't ever do anything. Just go and fucking lie. I don't mean that, but if I just got home every day and, like, or went out with friends right after work, or went and distracted myself, did other things, I would have never given myself the peace of mind, the time and silence to kind of lie there and just think about things, because that's where your mind kind of expands and explores, you know. Now at the same time, you don't want to get lost in overthinking. Obviously, it's not a good thing. There's this one book I'm reading. You don't have to take it from this because this is a religious book, but I don't like to cross over into that in these videos a lot. But my friend from church gave me this book. But just as one part that it said, which was, excuse me. Actually, no, it's not even in this book. That book's really good too, but more specifically, this message I saw on my phone just said, reality is usually much quieter, or reality is usually quieter than the imagination surrounding it. Which essentially in a way is just says you constantly overthink, or you constantly thinking what you're imagining, what you think is going on, or you're trying to speculate. Reality is usually much less of a big deal, or less confusing, or less, than it really is, or than you think it is. I mean, that's the sad part about overthinking, is you put too much thought into things, and at times it doesn't require that. You know, the other times, points in life where you're making a big decision, a big change, a big move, let's say a breakup, whatever, like you just need to do what you feel is kind of right. You know, another quote that I guess pertains to that, I don't know if I made a video about this already, but it says, don't think, it complicates things. Just feel, and if it feels like home, then follow its path. And again, more of a religious quote, like a Bible verse, whatever. But it essentially just says, when you think, you're just imagining things, you know, you're just speculating how things will play out. You're not really, unless you're using like, I don't know, facts or evidence from reality, but if you're just overthinking and worrying and what if this happens, what if this could happen, it just complicates things, you know. You just need to go with what you feel is right, because that's what you feel. Just a gut feeling, you know. Yeah, I don't know, this video kind of went another direction, but just give yourself some days, some time to think, you know. If something came up in your life where you're really overthinking about a certain situation or a person or job or school, whatever, or a big decision, mainly decisions or like, let's say, past situations, maybe you have regret or something, just kind of lie down and, I don't know, put music, not music, but like, put like something relaxing on, or no, just sit in silence, lie down, and just kind of think about what may have happened or what's going on, and kind of just let yourself, you know, fall asleep, whatever. But that's how ideas come too. That's how thoughts start, and if you're constantly distracted and you're doing other stuff, you're never going to be able to even access that area of like thought and stuff. So it's kind of a middle ground, though. You have to know when to recognize not to overthink about something, but also to think about, you know, it's kind of, I guess I'm kind of giving mixed advice here or whatever, but just don't overthink, but don't not think at all, I guess. So anyway, I feel like Vsauce right now. Thanks for watching, and be happy.